Elden Ring is getting a standalone 3-player co-op roguelike spin-off, one with Battle Royale influences. I didn't see that one coming. Hello everyone, I'm Lost, and I want to talk about Nightrain, and of course I want to talk about it. Everybody's talking about it. I have been in contact with several of my content creator friends, and let me tell you, there is a wide array of mixed emotions on this topic. And I can't blame them, I myself was a depository of a lot of mixed emotions. For example, when I was watching the trailer, I was so incredibly hyped. Then, after I realized, wait, this isn't going to be your traditional Souls experience, I was a little disappointed. Then I learned that there is no PvP, and then I was even more disappointed. But after a little bit of reflection, I have come to understand that this is something new, and I should not judge it on what I want it to be, but rather what it is. And I am getting more and more excited as we speak. Now, there are a lot of different things to say, but it's important to keep in mind that Nightrain is still finalizing certain elements of the game, so any speculation should be taken with a grain of salt. And also, before we talk about how it all works mechanically, I want to mention that this game exists outside of the relevant lore of Elden Ring. It might still be canon, but according to several interviews, the events of Nightrain does not have any impact to anything that happens in Elden Ring. Now maybe we learn a new thing or two about some of the characters in Elden Ring, but if this is actually canon, that is a huge deal, because there is a lot of Dark Souls elements in Nightrain. There are several bosses, you have seen the Duke's Freya, you have seen the Nameless King, so if this is canon, that is confirmation that Dark Souls 3 is a sequel or a prequel or whatever to Elden Ring. So that's really funny. Also, speaking of Dark Souls 3, there was a rumored remaster coming up, but that remaster might have been Nightrain all along, because the leaker might have seen somebody redoing the Nameless King as a boss fight, and then just assumed, hey, this might just be a Dark Souls 3 remaster. So maybe there exists no Dark Souls 3 remaster. It's food for thought. Anyways, so how does it all work? Well, it seems that first you pick one of 8 characters, all with different strengths, weaknesses and playstyles. Then you pick a final boss that you want to defeat. After that, you are dropped into a map, Fortnite style, where you have to survive 3 days and 3 nights. During the day, you will run around fighting randomized enemies, picking up gear and finding resources in chests and breakable objects. And when the night rolls around, you will be forced to fight the boss. When that boss is defeated, you will get to choose one of 3 different bonuses. Rinse and repeat. Also, as far as traversal is concerned, you're much faster and quicker, and you get access to the Sekiro wall kick that helps you get up ledges and maybe other movement abilities. I'm not entirely certain if that's specific to a certain character, but I would wager no. To make you go where they want you to be, Nightrain will be using the Battle Royale Storm, or Damage Ring. And yes, there is no PvP. I am so disappointed in that, but it is what it is. The map itself is static, so learning where you are most likely to find cool loot will be a big part of the experience. It's built by using different assets set in a Limgrave-like area, but they did say that the map can change in certain ways. Like all of a sudden, lava starts spewing out of an area that was formerly lava-free, or maybe a standard lake turns into a poison swamp. According to an interview done by IGN, you can either go alone or in a squad of 3. No duos though. For balancing purposes, they said, which is a little weird. I really hope they do include duos, but we'll have to wait and see how it shakes out. The characters that you play are all named individuals, so no character creations here. They have specific powers meant to complement each other. For example, in a PC Gamer video, it is revealed that one character of the Dexy variety has the ability to re-trigger all the damage that has been done to an enemy over the last few seconds. That's very powerful. So here it's clear that From is aiming for a high degree of synergy for these classes. So let's say that you have a bleed build, and most of your damage comes from the bleed procs. You can effectively double your damage by using that hero ability, I don't know what else to call it. And what if this hero ability don't just apply the amount of damage but rather re-triggers the bleed proc? That would mean that if you have a special talisman, or relics as they will be called in the game I think, that stacks your damage according to how many bleed procs you manage to get, then perhaps you will get to be a god of death for the next, I don't know, 4 seconds or so? Look, all of this is of course speculation, but I think it shows just how this system could operate in Nightrain and how a Souls game would approach this formula. Other characters involve someone called Guardian, who has the ability to fly up in the air and then dive bomb the ground with his face, doing massive damage to surrounding enemies, while also boosting the defense of allies. I don't know, if I saw somebody face dive straight into the ground, that would have a bit of a negative impact on my on my morale, but that's so. There's also Recluse, who is a frail mage with tons of damage potential, but can probably very easily die if you're not careful. There's also a more standard knight with a greatsword and a grappling hook, and then there's also an interview that mentions a character who uses spirit summons as their special ability, although they haven't finalized that character yet. There also seems to be like a Sekiro type of dude that focuses on guard counters, which is always a little scary if you're playing online, but hey, that is what it is. When it comes to leveling your character, PC Gamer told us that you will not be locked into playing a specific style, even though you choose specific characters. The leveling system has been simplified. You don't level up skills individually. You level up your character, and that character will decide what points go where. So the mage will always get a point in intelligence, but sometimes skip a point in vigor. Now, if what PC Gamer says is right, then it seems to me that most characters can use most weapons, if not all weapons, and the real difference here would be how powerful these weapons are in the hands of your specific character. Each weapon also has a passive bonus that will remain active even when you aren't using that specific weapon, as long as that weapon is equipped. And also no hard swapping. There's no bottomless box, you don't have an inventory other than what you can equip. That's important to keep in mind. The loot itself is going to be colored akin to every other game with the tiered loot systems. So you'll have your whites, your greens, your blues, your purples, your oranges, and that type of stuff. Now, there will be some type of progression though in this game. If you don't really know roguelikes, it is a game mode where you do a run, and when you die, you basically lose everything, except for a few new starting bonuses. A good example of a roguelike, and one of the best games ever made in my opinion, is Hades. In Hades, you have the ability to play with a specific weapon, and even though you die, you still retain your experience with that special weapon, which allows it to use different aspects, which gives it different skills, or just boost the damage of that weapon. Now, in Nightrain, it seems like you will find these relics that have different bonuses. So, for example, you'll have a relic that when you heal, you'll heal your teammates as well. You'll have a relic that shows you loot on the map, and you'll have a relic that boosts your poise damage when you are attacking. So certain relics will fit together with certain characters more, but everybody will probably be able to use the same relics, which can create some really interesting dynamics when it comes to the characters. And this is what this game is going to be built around. Finding interesting combinations of these relics in order to play the game. It's less about making weapons stronger and more about choosing bonuses that will eventually synergize to the point where you become a god of death. Oh, I haven't slept much. Well, I have actually, but I just went to bed, I woke up, and I made this video, and it's coming out very late. So, I hope you like it. Thank you, everybody. I love you, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.